I'm still working on that email, so I'm gonna turn video off too. We still need this email, right? There's some bug with it. I'm trying to fix it right now. Email has been sent, but people don't know their teams. What did you say? You're going to let us know before we're broadcasting, right? That's terrible. For better or for worse, I just figured out the issue I was having sending. Thank you. Yeah.
Hey folks, we're going to get started momentarily. We understand the issue with the Discord server invites. There is now an invite in the live chat if you are watching this and you have not been able to get into the Discord server yet. In addition, if you clicked the book and nothing happened, you should also now have access to Event Help Desk, who you can ask to add the Mystery Hunter role to you so that you can get access to the rest of the server. Apologies about this. We just had trouble getting the Discord invite and some other information out. Yay, tech! We'll get started momentarily. I guess this is our hubris for calling this the Let's Play that goes wrong.
It's just all on theme. Of course, I figured out the problem seconds after
All right, folks, we are going to get started in another 2 minutes. If you're not right with your team at the time, don't worry, this has a little bit of a lead-in before you actually have to do things as part of the event. There's my camera. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Bookspace Plays Pathfinder.
Holy crap, how do we have this many people watching?
There's a group of people from MIT in Bookspace.
And they're all watching this stream?
I hear they're a bunch of nerds, so probably.
Makes sense.
Oh, well then we should probably introduce the stream to all the new folks then. Welcome to Bookspace Plays Pathfinder, hosted by the role-playing games section. We love role-playing game books and role-playing games in general in Bookspace, as they are a way of creating stories with each other. And Let's Plays are ways of sharing those stories with others. My name is Jamie Astor. I'm the Minister of Role-Playing Game Books, and I'm the GM of this game. Each of the players can introduce themselves. We'll put up their names on here. Bob? 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 Are you there? Otto, is everything okay over there?
Yeah, he's been having trouble staying awake as people from his department keep disappearing. So he keeps getting work piled on him. Hold on, I'll go wake him up. Bob, honey, wake up and introduce yourself.
I'm sorry about that. I must have fallen asleep. I'm Bob. I am the Minister of Histories, and I'll be playing Arthur Higginstrom III, the most powerful wizard in all the realms. I have a giant spellbook, and I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm Anna. I'm the Minister of Westerns, and I'll be playing Kamana Higginstrom. I am a fighter with a giant golf ball bag full of weapons, and I try to defeat each monster with a different one. I'm also Arthur's younger sister. In game, not out of game. I mean, you're cool, but we're not related.
Fair enough.
And I'm Otto. I'm the Minister of Graphic Novels, and I'll be playing Ardutar Sarinda, Cleric of the Prismatic Ray. Given that I worship a pantheon of gods as opposed to one specific one, the messages I get are often more cryptic than most, and so I have to turn them into the images of protective sigils.
I'm Elle, and I'm the Minister of Humor Books. I'll be playing Dardalara Farlarla, Rogue. I find the weak points of monsters and stab them with my rapier wit. Also, actual rapiers.
All right, excellent. Let's get into it. So, for those of you who don't know how this works, don't worry. I'll provide some context when we get to the first combat, and they're busy solving puzzles. Now, where did we leave off?
We had just surrounded and defeated the evil wizard, and we were leaving his dungeon complex.
Right, so as you all head out, most of the wizard's minions no longer attack you. After all, they're not getting paid anymore. Bob's poison affects him, and he gets weaker.
Doctor? Is anyone here a doctor?
Otto.
Awkward.
I told you we need to get to a town. I don't have any anti-poison stuff prepared.
Right.
Anyway, as you were leaving, the one remaining creature who wasn't loyal to the wizard in the first place, a roper, jumps down at you.
Ah!
Ropers are creatures that blend in with the surrounding cave, pretending to be stalactites or stalagmites. They shoot out little rope-like tendrils to suck out your strength and pull you into its nasty bite. All right, adventurers, fight! While they're going, let me explain to you all what's going on here. In a normal Pathfinder game, we would be taking turns, swinging swords, and casting spells. But instead, we've got Puzzle Pathfinder. Each player has a different role, and they'll be solving different kinds of puzzles. We have a puzzle dashboard that I have pre-filled in with the encounters that they are going to encounter tonight. If they're able to solve the puzzles for that monster, then they defeat it. And since they're just about out of time, let's check in on the results.
I cast Rope Trick to trick the roper.
I attack it with the propeller blade and my property tax bill, since both of those weapons contain all the letters of the word rope consecutively in it.
And I stacked up the message that I received from my god and read down the columns, and that gave me what I needed to draw in my protective sigil.
I was asked to come up with a new name for them based on their favorite food, so I named them Deb Aiders.
Those are all correct. Hopefully you at home now get the idea, but if you don't worry. You'll pick it up as we go along. Now, there's all of their answers so that you may greatly see them. This is a presentation after all. It's a Let's Play. We want to show off for the audience as well. All right. Now, you make your way out of the cave back into the open air. Unfortunately, that open air is a graveyard. Bob? Are you there?
Hold on a sec. I'll go check and see what's going on.
Oh, we appear to be having some technical difficulties. Please stand by.
He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
I mean, his computer is there, still running everything, and his jacket is still on the chair, but he's missing and his webcam is missing.
Oh no.
Perhaps these mysterious disappearances have struck again. You did say his department was hit heavily.
Yes, but I didn't think that ministers would disappear.
I recommend updating your priors.
So what do? We can't just not have our wizard. We'll all die.
It's true. The encounters I have planned for the rest of the evening all have a component for each of you. Any one person goes missing and you can't succeed.
We have an audience.
What do you mean?
Well, the puzzle dashboard, it's online, right?
Yeah.
So we can send it to everyone who's watching. We've got lots of smart people watching, and they can solve the wizard while we do the rest.
I guess that makes sense. I can easily get that set up.
But what about Bob? What are we going to do about him?
What have you done about any other disappearances?
Kept working while investigating?
Exactly. We have a story that we need to complete, the story of our characters, but we also have jobs to do.
I guess.
All right, I think I have the dashboard set up, and it's should be. I hear you're all in like one Discord or something, so I just sent it all out to everyone. Anyway, let's keep going. You find yourself in a massive graveyard just outside the cave.
Ooh, spooky.
It's okay. With properly maintained protective sigils, you have nothing to fear from graveyards.
Does that picture look like someone's been maintaining proper protective sigils?
Fair point.
Behind you, you hear a voice that says, "I'd listen to her." You turn around and you spot a ghost. Aha! A ghost is a spirit of a dead person with unfinished business in this world. They will keep rejuvenating over and over again until their business is taken care of. They're also incorporeal and transparent, making them hard to target. Okay, the puzzles have started. Folks, you have 4 minutes to solve your puzzle. For those of you watching, we have posted a dashboard to your Discord server, and you should work together in the groups to figure out what the answer is and then post it in your Discord server, and we'll take you collectively as the wizard. Good luck! Okay, well, let's see what we've got. It looks like those of you at home found out that the spell the wizard needed to cast was Phantasmal Killer. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. It makes sense from a punny perspective, which, I mean, it's puzzles, so sure. What about the rest of you?
I attacked it with an egg timer and a pigtail, since both of those words have a GT in it. The egg timer even had an extra G.
And I had to ignore every other letter of the message my god gave me, and that gave me what I needed to draw in my sigil.
My question asked me why the ghost was failing his rails all the time, and I found out it's around because of its loved ones.
That is a very bad pun.
Well, you know me.
Ah.
Oh no, not another one. I really hope that this isn't unfortunate technical issues.
I'll call her. I'm not getting an answer.
Oh no, are we all going to disappear?
Make dramatic sense.
That's incredibly fatalistic.
Incorrect.
True.
So, what do we do about the second missing person?
Give them to the audience.
You mean give them two things to do at once?
Got smart puzzlers. They can handle it.
Fair. I can set up the public version to see two different roles at once. We can give it a shot.
Okay.
Oops. Excuse me while I set up the public version to do two at once. Okay. So, as you head out of the graveyard, you start heading across the hills to the big city, so that you can get the poison out of the wizard. When suddenly, an Etten ambushes you from behind a hill.
Ah.
Gotta have one of those random encounters in every set of hills. This is how this works. Ettins are two-headed giants. They're not known for working together or being particularly bright, but don't underestimate them. Just because they're the smallest giants doesn't mean that they won't kill you. Folks, you have, I guess, 5 minutes to solve the puzzles, given that there's now more than one of them. I guess for the other two of you, you get the benefit of an extra minute. Viewers, you can set the round selector in the bottom left to round 2. And you may go ahead and start. Okay. So let's see what our viewers at home figured out. So looking over the combined answers here, it looks like the wizards will be casting Mirror Image. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a great thing to do with someone with two heads. And it looks like all the weapons they use featured double letters. In particular, there's lots of them that featured multiple double letters. It's great. It's great. What about the two of you?
I removed all the duplicate letters and then drew that message into my sigil.
And I was asked how their height affected their perception, and it turned out they were short-sighted.
Grown, but yes.
Ms. Astor, I don't feel so good.
Did you say that because you wanted to make an MCU reference right before you disappeared?
Yes.
Maybe that means you won't disappear.
Maybe. I won't disappear. I won't disappear.
Did you ask him that just to make it funnier when he disappeared?
Maybe.
Okay, well, I think we continue the plan, give the viewers at home the cleric's job to do, and keep going.
Sounds good.
All right, anyway, you get back to the city, where you take the wizard to the temple to get healed from poison. The temple offers you to rest for the night, and you gladly take them up on the offer. Unfortunately, you seem to have attracted more attention, and during the night, you are attacked by Faceless Stalkers. Faceless Stalkers are shape changers whose natural form has no face. They traditionally carry a sickle and have supernatural tracking abilities. Since y'all at home are now doing 3 different puzzles, yeah, we're going to keep this at 5 minutes. Hopefully at least some of them have become a little bit more familiar and you've personally leveled up in being a wizard or a fighter. But keep in mind that drawing the sigil for a cleric is a lot of work and may take you some time. So you now have 5 minutes. You may select round 3 down in the bottom left-hand corner of your things, and you may begin. Elle, you seem very confident despite the fact that you're probably going to disappear.
Well, we're all going to disappear someday.
That's incredibly dark. I thought you were the Minister of Humor.
Humorists are very good at being dark.
Anyway, it seems like you all at home did a fairly good job with this. You determined that the best spell for the wizard to cast was Remove Senses. Makes sense if they've got some weird... Or Restore Senses, that make it no longer a faceless stalker. The best tools for the fighter to use are ones that avoided the letters in the word face. And to interpret the cleric message, you had to remove the letters in the word face from it and then draw what was remaining. What about you, Elle?
I was asked what the faceless stalkers ask their victims, and since they're called Ugotal, the question was, "You got hole?"
That was quick. Guess it's just us now, chat. Hi. Well, I guess I'm giving you the road now, too. So, yeah. This isn't ominous at all. Alright, well, I guess we gotta continue with the story, right? Story has to happen. We're in book space. We deal with stories. Okay. So, we move on. So, after, you deal with the faceless stalkers, and then you get a good night's sleep afterwards, rest to restore your spells and your focus points and all of your other fun abilities. And then you go back out. And you've already dealt with the wizard in the cave. There's no need to go back there anymore. But there is other caves to deal with. After all, that's where the best dungeons are. So you go out into the caves. And, of course, it is not long before one of the cave's residents comes attacking you. And that is a Gug. A Gug is a Lovecraftian creature with 4 arms that come from double-jointed elbows. And its head is a gigantic maw. It's just one giant mouth that it can use to eat surprisingly large creatures. And it really likes the company of ghouls, which is good because basically nobody else does. All right. I guess it's all you now, folks. You can go to round 4 and try to get some stuff. You've got 5 minutes. He's off. Okay. So, well, I guess you had all of the puzzles. So let's just go over the answers then. So for the wizard, you wanted to cast a magic mouth. The fighter was looking for things with the longest palindromic sequences that could be in them. I mean, I hear that's a thing around here. I don't know. Whatever. The cleric, Gugs care about fours, and so you're looking for the fourth letter of every word. And for the rogue, well, you were being asked how people feel, and they feel gassed. I really hope you came up with that. I mean, it's the rogues. They're very bad puns. I mean, like, that's how this works. Okay, so you can spend some time looting the cave with the Gugs. Gugs tend to have really good treasures because they, like, eat up people, but they, like, open them up so the treasures are left on the outside. It's a very, very convenient construction for adventurers to loot. And you loot the whole place and start heading back. And of course, number one rule: you can't cross a bunch of hills without getting attacked. It's just how it works. And so this time you are attacked by an owlbear. Owlbears are creatures with the head of an owl and a body of a bear. Now, they did not form naturally. They're the result of arcane experiments by wizards. This one is named Gom Gom. Do not be fooled by its cuteness. You have 5 minutes, adventurers. Oh, and sorry, we're over halfway through at this point. I had 8 encounters prepared for today. But when we're through the halfway point, to kind of like mix it up for everybody else, it's going to be. I usually like to make things harder, so I'm sorry. The wizard is going to get a bit harder on this one. My apologies. You have 5 minutes starting now. Okay. Let's see what we're doing. Let's see the results. So the wizard, you cast all is one, one is all, combining other things to fight an owlbear. That makes sense. Basically, if you're going to fight an owlbear, you might as well be playing Smash Up. Then the fighter wanted weapons that were 2 words combined, and then its damage value was the length of the shorter word. For the cleric, you had to split apart the words and rearrange them. And finally, for the rogue, well, you wanted it how it keeps its breath clean. It's a magical experiment. Yeah. There's no good puns here. There's only bad puns. Okay. Well, whenever you have a giant loot pile, the next thing you do is you go sell that giant loot pile to get some nice fresh gold. Well, any gold. Gold is gold. It'll do. So you go back to the city, and you spend a lot of time selling your gold. And you're very, very careful to make sure that nobody hears about your newfound piles of wealth, which is great. But that doesn't mean that you can't get attacked in the night, because I'm a very cruel GM who likes attacking players when they're asleep. And you get attacked by a Dullahan. A Dullahan is basically just the generic form of the creature from, that is the generic form of the Headless Horseman. It's a headless undead creature riding its spectral horse. It rides around looking for revenge from its life, and it will often carry its own head under its arm as it's riding around. Beware the bad horse sounds. Neighing, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So, you've got 5 minutes. Oh, and, fighter's gonna get a little bit harder now, too. You've got 5 minutes. All right. So, let's go over these answers. I mean, you all agree. I will admit, I fully love interacting with you in chat, but it's just not as much fun when you don't have a bunch of people here. I mean, it already kind of is annoying to do over video chat, but like it's way more fun when you've got a bunch of people around a table. And I don't even have that. All right, anyway, focus. Focus, Jamie. All right, cool. Let's do this. Number 6, Wizard casting Phantom Steed. Now, you know, if you're going to catch up to this thing riding a Phantom Steed, you've got to have a Phantom Steed of your own. I mean, that's how ghost horses work. The fighter, the weapon dealt damage equal to the number of one-letter deletions that the word had from the famous Enable word weapon list. The cleric, you needed to behead the first letter of every word, and the rogue wanted appalled and red. That's how people feel when they see it execute someone. All right, but you survived that, and you managed to get a good night's sleep, recover spells, recover focus points, recover anything else you've got. And then you head back out into the hills. And remember what I said about hills. You never cross hills without getting a random encounter. And so, of course, the random encounter in this case is a Cyclops. A Cyclops is a one-eyed giant, but you knew that already. What you may not have known is that a Cyclops in this campaign setting is a remnant of an ancient stargazing civilization. Cyclops, Cyclopes, I actually don't know the plural of it, used to range the land, creating gigantic astronomy buildings, observatories, and plotting the stars. And they were known for their great divination abilities, which was great except when divination stopped working. But they're still really good at divination and can sometimes see the future really well and take advantage of it to crit you. All right. Oh, and cleric? It's time for your stuff to get a little bit harder, too. You have 5 minutes. Okay. Well, that was a couple tricky ones now, wasn't it? But let's talk about what those were. So the wizard, well, if you're going to fight something with one eye, you got to cast blink. And then the fighter, of course, if you're going to talk about the one-eyed giants, then you want to see the number of eyes that it has. So your weapon should, the more eyes, the better. The cleric wanted you to take the alpha, take the letter corresponding to the position where the singular I was in the word. And the rogue, well, where does it store its spices? In the annals of time. All right. So I know that you all were like gunning for my job in the chat. And I was trying to think of why I haven't disappeared yet. Because, like, you know, if there was a pattern, like one after one after one after one, I should be gone by now, right? But maybe, I don't know, maybe because I have to finish out the story? I mean, that makes sense, right? We care about the story. Bookspace is all about the story. You can't just leave a story unfinished. But this next one's the last encounter out of all of them. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, let's do the final encounter. Right? We gotta fight, you know, end on a strong end on a strong fight. I see people chanting boss fight. Yeah, it's time for the boss fight. So of course you gotta go in, you gotta get some we gotta do you know, big creature, lots of loot. And in fact, you get to a cave, and you find a cave with a giant dragon hoard's worth of gold. And then you go to grab the gold, and it's not gold. It's a mimic. A mimic. It's a shapeshifter that looks like an object. Items that touch it are stuck to it and have a hard amount of time being taken off. And they can wait in one position for years until prey comes. Folks, you have 5 minutes, and people doing the rogue, that just got harder too. Boss fight, boss fight, boss fight, boss fight. You have 5 minutes. Hey, I was talking on a messaging thing with some other people from Book Space, and it sounds like you all have been investigating the disappearances. Just please, can you please make sure you find me? Is I'm kind of scared. Well, we should go over it. We should go over the answers. We should go over. Okay. So, yeah, the answers. So for the wizard is mimic undead. The fighter, the weapon is the number of anagram words that it anagrams to.